Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Week 14 recap of the My NFL Fantasy Wrath League. And the dust has settled. We have our placements, and it was a bit hectic, that Sunday. I was watching because I was going to see what was going to go on and where I was going to end up being placed. I knew I was probably going to place in the second or third. I ended up losing my last match, but I didn't know who was going to get that fourth spot. And as I'm about to show you all the placements for... Oh, here we go. Okay, so here are the playoffs. They're right here. I didn't know they'd have it set up on the website. It looks different on the mobile app. But playoffs are set. It's the number 1 seed going up against the number 4 seed, which is Isaiah's team versus the Suge Knights. Suge Knights ended up getting in. And the second matchup is the Murder Boners and me, the Mixed Team Pros. And it's interesting to see this come because for the longest time I thought Dion was going to be someone who could come in, but I guess and he did. He proved that. But yes. With that being said, I didn't really introduce you, man. So thank you, for being here. The commissioner. He makes all of this possible, and unfortunately, I really wanted to play in the playoffs this year.
Yeah. We've been trying to get that matchup for
a
few years now.
A few years. We're just gonna have to wait another year, and hopefully that year will be next year. But appreciate you coming on. This week. I know some people who wouldn't do it.
I made a promise. I said no matter what happens, I'll be on the show for the playoffs.
That's true. And I appreciate you, sticking to that, man, because you didn't have to. Cause nah, man, making an excuse or something. He could have been like, I got work or something. But you know what it is? I couldn't question,
Right.
So, but thank you for being here and taking a look at the consolations. To be the consolations aren't. Of course, they're not playing, for the league championship. But in terms of it's not gonna be no pushover for these consolations. I mean, people in this league, it's gonna be a fight just to get fifth place. I mean, we got the previous league previous league champ, who ended up dropping to 6th. ESO Legends finished 5th.
Yeah.
He finished 5th, and he's got that matchup versus DeBallas, and everybody here, it could go either way, but I'm picking you, honestly, for this, because the way you've been rolling. He's been rolling pretty well. But this matchup I'm going to be paying attention actually to the Kid Got Next versus the Fundraisers, because that's going to be a big match. You would think that's something like a playoff matchup, because these teams have rolling in recent weeks, except you could only fit 4 in. But
that's only because we only have 10 teams.
Yeah.
Now, if we ever expand, a few more teams will get in.
A few more teams will get in. Yeah, that's very true. Is there more that you can do Can you add 12?
I think it might be up to 32.
Oh, 32.
I know. I think at least 16.
Oh, okay.
But it might be able to go a little higher than that.
Yeah.
Don't take my word for it, but I think at least 16.
Because we'd love to have more people out there.
Right.
Join the league. You just have to make sure you stay active, because the one thing that made this league what it was this year for everybody is pretty much everybody was active for a certain point, at least throughout the entire year.
Right.
For about I'd say grand total of 6 or 7, 8 weeks, which was good. And then at the end, we really only had one person that really just did it, and he had a positive record. And but everybody else, there's 2 teams we don't see here, and that is the person who fell off, which is
don't even say his name. He
doesn't
deserve it.
I'm forgetting what. Well, Never
But
Bound
the
Down.
other one is Never Bound Down. My man Solomon. He was building a slow monster. Apparently, this monster doesn't even move because he still ended up with the worst record in the league. He tried though, but his last year he did way better, and half that time he wasn't paying attention. Yeah, but it was a crazy year.
It was a crazy year indeed, and we're coming down. This is the third to last episode for the year. We've got this matchup talking about the recap of this week. Then we have the recap of next week, and talking about the week 15. Then after that, we're going to be announcing the winner. I'm gonna hope to have the winner on the panel. I really need to. I need to wait, and since it's not going to be a rush to get that final episode out, so I might just give this a warning ahead of time that the final episode for this but not for this series, but for this season. May came out a couple weeks late, depending, because I need to have the winner on and just talk to them about how they, won the championship, how they, like they felt how the year. Like I feel like I need to have that. I feel like you guys out there deserve to see and deserve to hear. And this year is not going to be much of an award, I guess, ceremony, because we don't have anything really to give. But next year, I'd imagine the award ceremony would
next
be,
year. I've already made the commitment. I'm going to get the league ring. I looked at the price. It was only about $150. It's not expensive. And hopefully, if anybody wants to actually put in cash, we could also do that. So ring and
That'd
cash
be fun,
is hopefully
ring,
the spoils to the winner of next year's league. Which
this year is for bragging rights. Next year is going to be for. I think it's going to be for a lot more. I think people are going to come back and be like, what, people who didn't make the playoffs, I know yourself included, like, what, I got to take one of those spots next year. And
I mean, when I look at the standings now, there's 3 of us that are only 1 game away from being in. That could have been in.
Yeah.
And 1 game was the difference. For a lot of us, yeah.
Yeah. And, it's all it takes. You got to, 1 win could, 1 week you'd be like, you might be on vacation. You might be like, this week might not. It does matter, and it's kind of hard because sometimes you might find yourself falling off a little bit. And the thing that I found myself doing pretty much during the growth of my season of going on that 7-game win streak and getting to where I am now is really just it's hard. You got to stay committed. You got to stay committed because no matter how far you fall in the beginning of the season, I was 0-4, so anybody watching this who has their own league who may have fallen behind and kind of just gave up, don't give up. I mean, if you have another league that you feel like you want to stay committed to, hey, you can go ahead and do that. But honestly, I'm a competitor, and I was like, what, I'm not going to just fall over and be like, what, next year, I'm not going to do it. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that, especially in fantasy, because it's fantasy. Your players could blow up. You could have a really good week. Your opponents could have really good weeks. Like you guys can use me and our commissioner here as for examples. The push that I made for 7 wins in a row, and then the push that he almost made if he had more week and more time, probably would have gotten into the playoffs. Is you gotta stay grinding. This is a grind out type game.
So you finished off with 7. Last 8 games with 7-1.
No, I finished off 7-2.
7-2.
I lost 2 on my last 3.
Okay.
But that stretch of 7, going from 0-4, it got me in, and I'm glad I stuck with it. Hey, I'm glad I'm stuck because I said at the beginning, I was like, I don't feel like this is my year. I might not even get the playoffs, but I'm still grind. I'm still compete even if I continue to lose.
I think your confidence was pretty high throughout the year. Actually, you always made it seem like you knew you was gonna come back. It didn't happen the way you had planned it to, but you stuck with it anyway. Yeah. And things happen. Me, the type of person I am, is when things not go my way, I tell everybody I'm about to quit and I'm not doing it, but secretly I'm out here doing my best to win, and I pushed for a 5-game win streak over the past 5 games, and I didn't get in, but I had a shot, and that's all I wanted was a shot.
To prove that you're still making right decisions.
I had to do it a lot for my self-confidence.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that's what a lot of people for me, there is one person who I need to see. Like, I'm gonna get into a bit of the playoff matchups now. After I show you guys what happened in week 14, just a bit of the scores to show you guys what happened. But let's go to the Game Center real quick. Then we're gonna go to the Game Center. We're gonna go to the week 14 recap. And as you can see, I matched up with our commissioner here. Got absolutely destroyed. Those of you, and I want to apologize personally for those of you who faced Le'Veon. There was a playoffs for a lot of people last week. And, there's playoffs for a lot of leagues starting week 14. A lot of people were bounced out last week. It's just that same. It is kind of unfair, but fantasy can be like that. Now, not necessarily like what happened with Le'Veon Bell, because this man literally scored almost 50 points, which is kind of... And he didn't even, and you didn't score 100 points.
I did.
And the rest of your team was like,
and you know what? Both of us left a lot of points on that bench. Both of us.
Did. Yeah, because looking at it right here, there's a lot of points on these bench right here, and everybody on my team pretty much had double digits on the bench. And there was a lot of points. Travis Kelce did well. Kenny Britt did pretty well, and
the Eagles' defense,
the Eagles' defense
was better than the Vikings. I chose the right quarterback.
Yeah.
But Kenny Britt, Travis Kelce, and the Eagles' defense, that would have pushed me over 100 for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm thinking with this match, I'm trying to just for little pride's sake, because I'm trying to calculate if there any combination on the bench where it could have gotten me a victory, and I think maybe it would be close, because if I had LeGarrette Blount in, and if I had Demaryius Thomas in, let's say LeGarrette Blount over Jay.
And Kyle Rudolph.
And Kyle Rudolph and
Brady.
And like I said,
most of your bench.
Yeah, I was about to say pretty much most of it. I think this is I'm glad this wasn't a playoff matchup for me, because it would have been bad. I would have been kicking myself wow, I made the worst decision of the year, and it cost me. But I'm hoping not to continue that way. I'm hoping to go, to do the best I can. I said at the beginning, if you guys watch earlier videos, I said I don't think I'm going to win this year. I just don't see it. But a string of recent wins has inspired me to look at other ways and look at other things differently. And who knows? Who knows where this is going to go. So this is a 66-92 victory for you. And this matchup, it's irrelevant. It's nasty. Don't nobody want to look at it. It's 68-48. And primarily because, and this could also hurt a lot of fantasy people out there, Melvin Gordon's gone. And
done with.
Yeah, he's gone, and AC/DC, we all know about that at Kansas City, what happened there, and it was just bad. And what I've been telling our season league champion, which is, we get to officially call him that now, but I told him that Melvin Gordon was his team. I told him that Melvin Gordon was the glue to his team that did everything for him this year, because you don't know, you can count on Derek Carr. Amari Cooper is kind of one of the biggest, he could be a frustrated type player, because he does, for fantasy fan. Yeah, in real life, he hits the big long plays. He'll get a 3 catches, but they'll be in crucial situations, when we need it. But in terms of fantasy, it's frustrating, because if you rely on that duo like AC/DC, if a lot of people have it like our season league champ, like Isaiah's team does, if they don't explode, if it's going to Crabtree's way, or they're running the ball and Latavius is having a good game, Derek Carr is going to get you, but Amari Cooper is probably going to get you.
And that's 3, 4, really just the Raiders in general.
It is.
You never know, because there's games when Crabtree isn't going off, but that's Cooper might be, or neither of them are going off, because the Raiders are doing so well with the running game. There's no reason to force a pass.
Yeah.
And Latavius Murray's going off, but he hasn't. I don't know if he's clipped 100 yards maybe once or twice this season. Yeah. But he has the touchdowns. So the Raiders' offense as a whole, outside of Derek Carr, is for fantasy not the best options.
Yeah, it's not the best option. But when combined and when playing well, it's gonna get you probably 50+ points. Right. With them receivers there. And moving on to Murder Boners and the kid got next here. This was huge. This was the nail biter right here. This determined the playoff spot, the final spot right here, because the Suge Knights had secured his victory. It came down to that Monday night.
Yeah,
I can't even imagine.
A great game.
Yeah, this was crazy. This was crazy, and Mike, and this is the type of stuff that gets me to never mess with a fantasy player, because Mike Wallace let me down. He had Mike Wallace and Gostkowski. Meanwhile, on Monday night, it was just he didn't have anybody, did he? Who played Monday? No, I don't think so. I think it was all set. Yeah, it was all set. All he needed was a few, because at the end of the day, I think he was down by 7 points, something like that. I think the kid got next was down by about like that,
yeah.
And it didn't get done. Mike Wallace got him 5 points and Gostkowski got him 4. So I think he was up a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
I think the Murder Bonus was up a little bit more than that. I'm trying to remember what the score was. I think he was up by 11. I think it was about 11 points. I think he was up 11 coming in. And that's why, because he's got 9 points from both of his players. Mm-hmm. The kid got next 9 points in total from Mike Wallace and Gostkowski. Another field goal, another
field goal. Another field goal.
There's a difference in making that playoff spot.
That's what it is. And you know what? That's it's hard to have a better year overall from a excitement standpoint.
Yeah.
Than our league this year, because this is not the only game where it came down to something small.
Yeah.
I had a loss early in the year where I had the Vikings defense, and the quarterback they were playing was on the opposition's team for my opponent's team, and he threw a pick that would have been a pick six, and the defender dropped it, and that was the difference right there. That was me winning or losing that game, and this is the same thing. Baltimore getting the field goal position.
Yeah, well,
that's the difference.
What's his name? New England. New England.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Gostkowski needed it because
they
were playing. They were playing better, and they just didn't get any field goals. They scored. He got 4 PATs. They didn't get. They weren't playing around. They
were not playing. And sometimes you can't predict. I mean, going against Baltimore, whose defense has been on fire recently. That would have been a perfect kicker because time to go down the field, but you don't expect him to get in the end zone every single time. Maybe 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
4 out of 4?
Yeah, I'm saying that coming down to this, I would have felt really confident as a kid, but I would have also felt nervous because I would have been like, man, like, this is fantasy. I don't know. And I don't know. I haven't spoken to Eric in a little bit. I haven't spoken to him, I don't think, in about a week. Still, I saw him at Isaiah's birthday bowling thing. And I don't know, like, because if you're, and it comes down to this for you not making it to defend, you don't get it. It's one thing to lose it, but you don't get to defend your title. You're just automatically dethroned like that. Yeah. That's got to be, for Price, that's got to be like really frustrating. Coming down and not making it, not being able to defend your title, and losing the way he did has got to be he's got to be the most frustrated person right now. I don't see. Yeah,
it hurts.
That has to hurt.
Again, next year it's gonna make.
I was about to say
that matchup even better. They played each other at the beginning of the year, and they played each other last.
And this was the championship matchup from last year. So this was pretty much Brian's way of saying sticking the finger to him, being like, "Yo, you took my ring from you last year. I'm gonna take it from you right now." And it's crazy. We have 2 new people in the playoffs this year who didn't make it from last year, and they're both matched up with each other in the first round. They're 2 rookies to this, and we're gonna see how this all plays out. But it was crazy.
I'm call them rookies, okay? They're
new rookies to the playoffs. Rookies to the playoffs. All right, so
they've only been in the league 2 years. Okay, I've played with him for 3 years.
Yeah.
Me myself, I've been playing for like 10 years. I'm in it strong. I'm a veteran. It hurts to see these young cats get in, and I don't. They don't appreciate it like I would, but Demetrius Mack would, but he understands.
I understand, And moving on to this other matchup right here, which is 74-61 matchup, and we're gonna finish this thing off pretty much talking about how we feel about this playoffs, but talking about how I'd appreciate it. I would definitely say I appreciate it so much more now that this is my 3rd year of fantasy overall, and this is my 3rd year in the playoffs. I've never missed the playoffs, and it's what it it is what it is for me. Like, this is what I do now. I feel like I have the confidence, and I feel like I have the skill set. Even though there's a lot of luck that goes with fantasy, there's a whole hell of a lot of luck that goes with fantasy.
It does. There is.
But there's also some skill in making the right decision makers, and now that it's my 3rd year making it, and the way I made it this year, I have the confidence in myself to believe that I can hold a playoff spot each and every year. Now that's just me speaking. Other people might be like, you know what, your playoff spot's going to be mine next year. We're going to see. All right. It was a.
I mean, the reality is the way I see it. You do have pretty good odds year after year because. I gotta admit, man, you're a master when it comes to the waiver wire. No matter where you're seated at, but you starting off the way you did in the beginning, it kept you high up on the waiver wire.
Yeah, absolutely.
You did something that I did that I think was important for both of our pushes. We both drafted suspended players. And the reality is I wanted to draft Tom too. The second year in a row that this has happened, where he's drafted Tom right before I was gonna get him. But and I had Le'Veon this year, which obviously has worked because he's almost guaranteed 12 points a game for me, and I can deal with that.
He's so much involved in that offense. Yeah.
I really respect your waiver wire game. I usually draft strong, and we'll get to that later.
I'm a terrible drafter. I drop more than if there's like a statistics for how many people you drop each and every year that at the start of your year, I probably am up in the 90 percentile.
What's that award you always get?
The waiver wire. I forgot what that's called.
What is it? The golden bucket?
It's the golden per kernel bucket or something like that.
He has so many of those.
Yeah, I got so many of those.
He picks up the waiver wire players and he usually picks right.
Yeah, and my only strength, really in drafting wise is I think every year, and it's proven now. Quarterbacks. Every year everything revolves around my quarterback. Everything goes around my quarterback. A lot of people they want to go with the right receiver route, with the strong top receivers in the league, strong running backs, which I think is going to be a much more. It's going to be a trend.
That.
What?
You ain't have to do me like that.
What I do?
The wide receiver thing. Come on, man.
What? What does that mean?
Come on, man. Look, y'all. This year, I followed all the experts, their advice of you don't have to get a quarterback yet. Go ahead, get the wide receivers. That'll be. I had Brandon Marshall, DeAndre Hopkins, Dez Bryant, and Larry Fitzgerald. Okay, Larry Fitzgerald was the most consistent one, and he's had an okay year. Dez Bryant, him and the rookie quarterback, they sometimes click, sometimes they don't. Brandon Marshall, trash this year. DeAndre Hopkins, trash this year. And that's my biggest surprise. DeAndre Hopkins has never had a quarterback. Who would know that Brock Osweiler was worse than Matt Schaub in his trash time? Like, how's that possible? But
Matt Schaub was once a Pro Bowler.
He was, but that was Gary Kubiak's offense.
It was.
And when he fell off, he was still there, and DeAndre still had the ball, and it didn't matter. It didn't.
This year.
Moral of the story: go with the strategy you feel most comfortable with. But I did say in the beginning of the season I was going to win and lose with this strategy. Either it was going to work really well, or I was going to die with it. Yeah. I died with it.
And it's good to stick by like a strategy because sometimes it can bounce back for you. You can be like maybe just wait some time. It's just for that those specific players it's not their year. Big name players too. You expect this. You rely on it. You put a lot into it. And if it doesn't work out, it's like, ooh, well, who is there? But yeah, I think the waiver wires is absolute something that everybody needs to invest time in because it's big. It's a big part of the game.
That's how I went on my 5-game win streak.
Yeah, is the waiver wires and paying attention to that and the matchups. And hey, for me, it worked out, and here I am. Here I sit. So as I said, we're gonna end this thing talking about what our predictions are for these brackets here. As you guys can see, there's a little bit of points. You see this little 3.90 right here. That's from Isaiah's team. That is from Thomas Rawls on Thursday Night Football. This is Friday the 16th, December the 16th, the date of this recording. The Thursday night game is already played. I imagine unless you had Russell Westbrook.
Russell Wilson?
Well, yeah. Russell Westbrook is playing quarterback. Yeah. God. Russell Wilson. But, I don't know. I've always confused them just because it's Seattle Connect, the old organization. I don't know. But Russell Wilson. Unless you had Russell Wilson. If you had Russell Westbrook, you did get any points.
Or the Seahawks defense.
Yeah, the defense.
The defense had 11.
The defense did have 11 points. But for Thomas Rawls, it was, for Thomas Rawls owner, it was hard out there. I mean, at one point I saw him, he had about 4 points. He had about 47 yards. He ended up losing 13 yards somehow. I don't know what happened, but right now with this matchup that we got right here, we can go to these matchups right now. Game Center right now. Let's check all of this out. So my matchup with Brian is going to be interesting. A lot is going to depend on these two right here, on this Tampa Bay Dallas game. If these two go off, he's going to have a real shot at winning because everybody else is going to be hard for them. because
Except for
Kirk
Crab.
Cousins. I was about to say, well, Crab could and could not. We like I said, we don't know. We don't.
Let
know.
me tell you, if there's one thing I'm confident about, it's the receivers of Oakland going off against the Chargers. That is usually a shootout. That's not the defensive game that it is with the other AFC West division rivals. That was some advice that I gave to Isaiah that he may have taken early in the year he didn't take all my advice, which I don't blame him. Go with your gut.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the advice that he took was, I'm telling him Cooper's going to go off against the Chargers because he usually does. I think Crab will also. I think the passing game will be on point.
Oh. We'll see. We will see, and I need that. Yeah, I need, like I said, I need them to destroy the Chargers. But I need Crabtree to be held in check in terms of fantasy points. You know, you gotta understand. You know, it's not true hate no Crabtree. It's just I need him to have a 70-yard game. You know, that's cool. Live with that.
Look, I mean, since I ain't got no stake in it, I need Crab to go off because Cooper already over 1,000 for the year. I just want him to get more touchdowns. Yeah. Crab, he has the touchdowns. I want him to get. I think he's only about 200 yards away for 1,000. And it'd be nice to have the Raiders to have 1,000-yard receivers for the first time, and I don't know how long. I'm sure when it happened on the game, they'll tell us when the last time we had it, 1997 or something. I don't know,
something like that,
or 2001 or 2, which is like everything else the Raiders haven't done since then. So,
yeah, but Crabtree could be in. Yeah, it could be in for a good game, and. People are I don't know if you read the stories, but some of these analysts are saying, "Oh, T.Y. Hilton, here's how he's going to beat the defense of the Vikings." But T.Y. Hilton has been quietly one of the best receivers in the league this year, and it's weird to say that, but he's already over 1,000 yards. Mm-hmm. He's already got, and it's
1,200.
Yeah, I would say he's at. He's been really, really good. But at Minnesota, Andrew Luck's shoulder is giving him problems again. I don't ever know what that means. As a longtime Andrew Luck owner for fantasy, I've dealt with that injury multiple times, and I don't know what it means. He usually comes out and he'll suck in the first half, but then he'll turn up in the second. If you're an owner of Andrew Luck, you know he's a second half player.
He's a second half player.
He's a second, so don't worry if it's stressful at times because you had him last year. You had him last year, right? And you did. You did. You took him.
I did.
Yeah, you took him.
Did I do that just to spite you?
You did. Yeah, you did that.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Yeah, cause
that was a great year for me last year, by the way.
Yeah, it was a great year. I was like, this year I gotta have Andrew back, and I got him, and he's performed for me in some cases. It's just there's two other quarterbacks that have been better. And Matt Ryan and Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Yeah,
I mean,
Tom
doesn't
Brady
get too much better than Matt Ryan and Tom Brady.
Yeah, and Tom Brady was the workhorse for me during that 7-game push. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to play him that much in the play. I'm definitely not going to play him this week. He's got at Denver.
Yeah, you said that last week, too.
Yeah, I said last week.
He went off against the Baltimore
Ravens.
He was at home.
Defense. He was at home.
True. I'm just saying, Denver right now, they're falling down a slippery slope. But possible. Not over Matt Ryan.
Not over Matt Ryan. We have the first and fourth matchup in the championship bracket here, and these two, because these other teams aren't here to really defend themselves. I'm just gonna go on a quick who I believe is gonna win this. I think Deion's gonna win this one. He's got a home. He's got a matchup versus the Chicago with Aaron Rodgers, David Johnson at New Orleans. We all know when you go down to New Orleans, you put up numbers. And David Johnson already puts up numbers.
Right.
So those two players alone could get him 50 points. We haven't even counted that Mike Evans, the most targeted receiver in the league.
Did you already say Lamar Miller?
I haven't gotten Lamar Miller.
Oh, my God.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not going to lie to you. As much as I was rooting for Isaiah, I felt like it was a good year for him. It would have been nice. But no.
Yeah, no.
Aaron Rodgers he's in full on, I'm trying to win now. Yeah. And Chicago's the trash. Yeah. Lamar Miller, again, the Texans, their division is real close with the Colts and Titans. So
it's just the Titans. They beat the Colts. Colts twice.
True. But so they're trying to really make a push, and then like you said, Derrick Johnson. I mean, my goodness. David Johnson. It's and like Mike Evans, Devontae Adams is at Chicago. He could go off.
Yeah.
It's
I said this matchup this week just screams to me that Deion is gonna make this push and just gonna knock Isaiah off his little high horse, which is exactly what I need to happen because you guys have seen him on this show how much he's talked down to us and called us peasants and called us non-worthy. And look, an injury has hit him pretty hard. Melvin Gordon. Bye. Surprised he didn't pick up Farrell. He knows not to do that. I was about to say he at least smart enough not to do that.
Yeah.
But for any mite of hope, he's gonna have to get 50 points from AC/DC, which could happen. But is Jonathan Stewart gonna go off versus Washington? Is Mark Ingram gonna go off versus Arizona? At Arizona? Malcolm Mitchell at Denver?
Malcolm Mitchell.
That's a possibility.
That's the possibility.
Yeah.
But it's still an iffy thing. It's not even for sure. I'm not confident in it, but it's possible.
Yeah, that's a very weird thing right there.
I love Malcolm Mitchell.
Yeah.
You know where he came from, right?
Where he came from?
Georgia.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh man. You know what? I think
Georgia full Bulldog fan, guys. If you guys didn't know.
But wow, that's actually I did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
I might have to get him next year for fantasy, man. I don't know if Julian Edelman.
I might too. I think he asleep
Yeah,
right now. Ain't nobody really paying attention, but he's been quietly becoming one of Brady's favorite targets.
I was say, Julian Edelman ain't been the same in terms of touchdown. He's still targeted a bunch, but it's a bit different. It's a bit different. So there you guys have it. That's it. That's the big shebang. That's how the death settled so far. And man,
I'm starting to think the Suge Knights might win it all.
I really am.
Looking at his roster, when did he put this together under our nose?
He's had that the entire. They just haven't been performing together.
They didn't perform all the time. Well, Derrick Johnson was.
David Johnson.
David Johnson. I don't know why I keep saying that, but yeah, David Johnson.
David Johnson's been performing. But as in terms of everybody else, it's just Aaron Rodgers started off a little bit slow, but
he did.
But we will see. Man, it's.
Lamar Miller has been pretty consistent.
You guys can call this hating. If I think it's anybody's ball game except for the Isaiah's team, because I don't see him coming anywhere close.
People.
No, it is not. I don't see him. We saw the matchups. We saw what he has in store.
Okay, and I also see what goes on off camera. People, let me tell you. God. Okay, there's a lot of hate between these two.
It's not a lot of hate between. It's a lot of hate against him.
It's gonna be a great matchup next year. I can't wait for next year already, just because there's new rivalries being born.
He's gonna be irrelevant. Like this is his fluke year.
I'm gonna make sure I throw y'all in the same division next year.
Good. He beat me twice. I can't believe that.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter because he's not gonna do anything versus Deion in these playoffs. He's not gonna have a playoff win. And now I'm gonna let out my hate. It's all good. I've been storing this up for too long. Been trying to be humble as a host on this show, but I'm sorry. It's a bit ridiculous how he's been coming on this show and just disrespecting the good people of this league. Sorry, it's time for him to get his ass whipped and brought back down to planet Earth because I don't know where the hell he is. But it ain't Earth. I don't know. So
I rooted for you through the regular season, but here's the reality: your cousin has a squad on him, man.
Yeah.
I'm not hating like he is, but I will say it is fact. You've been extremely fortunate with the matchups and
lowest scoring goddamn person in the league. See it. I just got to do this.
Just do it. Go ahead.
I got to do it.
Check mine now because I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right with the points.
Because we look at this. But I want you guys to look at something right here. Just something from this little recap here. League average of 88.65 points a damn game. You know what? It feels fine if he was humble. Like, oh, man, I'm extremely blessed that I'm at this point. That I've gotten here, with the play, but he's not. He's acting like he's dominating everybody when he's just catching the magic. He doesn't put up points, but it's all good because it's towards the end of the season. I can let up my hate now because the playoffs are here. I'm in them, and all I need to do is get further than him.
Just take note that I forced more points than everybody except for the murder boners. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, the streak you've been on. It's crazy. That's believable. So there you have it, folks. Done hating. I'm going to wrap it up now. And, man, like I said, looking forward to this week, 2 more days till it gets started. 2 more days. I'm ready. And good luck to everybody out there who does have their own fantasy league. If you're still in it, if you didn't get bashed out last week by Le'Veon, congratulations. You'll probably get bashed out by him this week. I'm just keeping it real. Because Like if Le'Veon Bell is on somebody's playoff team, I just feel like he's going up against Cincinnati. What they did to Antonio Brown last year, he gonna want to just go
this game, boy. Oh yeah, I love it. I love it, and it was worth the 3-game suspension. I was to draft him. It was still worth it. That 3-game suspension wasn't enough for me to say I'm not drafting him. Yeah. I needed to draft him. It's worked out for my comeback push. Didn't get me into the playoffs, but hey, I'll play for 5th. I'll play for 5th.
That's good. That's how you do it for Price. That's how you do it. Handle your business, man. Good for you. So, thank you everybody so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and also turn on notifications. That way, whenever I upload a video, you won't miss a thing. And with that being said, I'll see you guys here next week, and we'll see what happened. We'll see how this all played out. So until then, I'm Demetrius Mack, and I'm out. Peace.